Yesterday, Sayadaw explained that when one is sitting down from standing position, there are nama rupa, mentality and materiality arising. And one should note sitting, and by noting sitting, one will know the true nature of the object. There is series of intention to sit, and the materiality manifests as stiffness, tension, movement. Knowing the stiffness, tension, movement, one is knowing the nature of materiality. In Vipassana, it is said that only if one is mindful at the moment of the object arising, then one will come to know the true nature. One is sure to know the nature by being mindful at the moment of arising. When it is said that at the moment of arising, the term at the moment of arising is very wide. So it can be at the moment of rising, at the moment of falling, at the moment of breathing in, at the moment of breathing out, at the moment of bending, at the moment of stretching, at the moment of sitting, touching, at the moment of blinking, at the moment of opening and closing of the eyes, at the moment of lifting, moving, placing. So these can be substituted in place of arising, such as at the moment of rising, at the moment of falling, lifting, moving, placing, so on. So at the moment of arising, it's very wide. The whole body is made up of field of objects to be noted. So by saying at the moment of arising, it covers every object. It covers every object that is in the field of noting. So in Pali, it is called Buddha. And one should be mindful of Buddha in the way it is. So one should know Buddha as Buddha. Buddha means things that are arising, things that are existing. For example, rising and falling of the abdomen is also Buddha. When noting rising and falling of the abdomen, the nature of Vayodhatu, wind element, manifests as stiffness, tension, movement. And when noting falling of the abdomen, one experiences movement, relaxation. So rising and falling, both of them have Vayodhatu, wind element that manifests. So in rising, the wind is more intensive, and in the falling, the wind is relaxed. When sitting down, there is the series of intention to sit, and the actual sitting down arises. So when one is mindful of it, one comes to know the true nature, and one has to note at the moment of arising. So it is very important that one notes at the moment of arising, not before it arises and not after it has arisen. So one should be noting on fresh, new object that is arising at the present moment. Buddha means things that are arising. Buddha means the thing that is arising, that is existing, and that can be known through direct experience. So when one inhales, the abdomen rises, and one has to note rising at the moment it takes place. And by being mindful of rising of the abdomen, one comes to know the nature, stiffness, tension, movement that really exists. So that's why it is said that one should be mindful at the moment of arising. When it is said that one should be mindful at the moment of arising, one should not be noting something that has already passed away, and one should not be noting something that has not arisen. Something that has already passed away is no longer obvious. That's why it should not be noted. Something that has not arisen is not obvious, and one should not note something that has not arisen. Buddha guided to note on things that is existing, that is present. So one should be noting the object that is obvious, that is really arising, that is existing. So the example is given here. When lightning strikes at night, one can see the shape of the lightning. So in order to know how the lightning is, one should take a look at the moment the lightning strikes. If one looks after the lightning had struck, then it will not be clear because it had already passed away. It will just be imagination if one takes a look after the lightning had struck. And also, one will not see it if one takes a look after the lightning had struck. After the lightning had struck, one will not see it anymore. And also, if one takes a look before the lightning strikes, one will not see it and one will not know anything about the lightning. So it is very important that one takes a look at the moment the lightning strikes. Then one will see how the shape is, how the lightning strikes, how it goes, how it passes away. So one should, in the same way, one should be noting the object at the moment of its arising. So the Nama-Rupa phenomena, mentality and materiality, are the things that really exist and that can be seen, that can be discerned through direct experience. So one should note the object at the moment of arising. And how one should note it? One should note the object in the way it really is. So at the moment of sitting, one should note it as sitting. At the moment of standing, one should note as standing. And at the moment of bending, one should note it as bending. At the moment of stretching, one should note it as stretching. So in this way, one should be noting the object in the way it is. And the example is here. When you see a stone, one recognizes as a stone, and one should not recognize it as earth, or one should not recognize it as soil. It is not a gold nugget. And also, when one sees gold nugget, one should recognize it as gold nugget. It is not a stone. In the same way, when the object arises, one should note in the way it really is. If one is noting differently than the object really is, then it will not be correct. So one should note the object in the way it really is. Buddha had taught that one should note the object in the way it really is, so that one comes to know the true nature. When one is noting rising and falling of the abdomen, when one notes the rising of the abdomen, one comes to know stiffness, tension, movement. And when one notes the falling of the abdomen, one comes to know relaxation, movement. So the late Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw also taught that one should be mindful of the object at the moment the object is arising, and one will come to know the true nature. It is sure that one comes to know the true nature by noting the object at the moment of arising, and one will not know wrongly if one notes the object at the moment of arising. So Satipatthana Bhavana is taught here in this center according to the teaching of the Buddha in the tradition of the late Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. And if the yogis follow the guidance and instruction precisely, it is very sure that they will come to know the true nature, they will come to discern the truth. It is said that Buddha to Pasati, one should observe the object in the way it really is. And by being mindful of the object at the moment of its arising, one is sure to know the true nature. At the moment of sitting down, what really is present, what really exists, is the mentality and materiality. And also in the other process, such as standing up, bending, stretching, turning, lifting, moving, placing, also there will be mentality and materiality. So when one is standing up, bending, stretching, turning, lifting, moving, placing, one should be mindful at the moment it arises. So when it is said that one should note the object, the term note sounds very ordinary, but in fact, when one notes the object, one has to note it with all the mental strength in the noting. So when one is noting the object, there is also jhanic factor involved. One should aim one's noting mind towards the object. Aiming the noting mind towards the object, it is vitakka, one of the jhanic factors. One should aim one's noting mind, and also one should put effort in the practice. Aiming the noting mind towards the object, the mind will be direct or face to face with the object. Exerting effort in noting, the noting mind will reach the object of meditation. In Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha mentioned viriya as ardent. So the effort should not be ordinary, but it should be ardent effort. When it is said that the effort must be ardent effort. It means that one should not be cold, one should not be gazing, one should not be dozing, but one should be alert, active. One shouldn't be slow or sluggish, but one should be active, alert to note the object, and one should note the object with ardent effort. So in this way, every time one notes the object, one should note with aiming and effort. When one notes the object with these two mental factors, aiming and effort, then the noting mind will hit the target, the object of meditation. The noting mind will stick onto the object. As the yogi notes the object continuously with aim and effort, the noting mind will continuously hit the target. The noting mind will continuously stick to the object that has been noted, and thus there will be sustained mindfulness. When the mindfulness is sustained on the object, the noting mind was calm and collected on the object, and thus yogi comes to know the true nature. So when it is said that yogi should note the object, in the word note, it means that one should note the object with full mental strength, full mental factors, such as vitakka, aiming, noting, aiming the mind, viriya, effort, and so on. So in this way, one should be noting the object with all the mental strength that is needed. So Sayadaw says, when one notes the object, noting should be effective. Noting should involve all the mental factors, all the mental strength needed, and it should not just be mere reciting. One should note in such a way that one should note in such a way like reciting something that has been memorized. When noting the presently arising object, there should be jhanic factor of aiming the noting mind towards the object, and one should exert ardent effort in the practice. So when one is noting the object with aim and effort, every single second continuously, then sati arises. Sati, mindfulness, arises. Sati here is not ordinary kind of sati, but it is said as sati patthana, firmly established mindfulness. Sati is not mentioned merely as sati, but it is combined with the term patthana. When patthana is also used, it means that sati is not ordinary, but it is outstandingly good quality sati. When noting the arising object, one aiming the noting mind towards the object, aiming the noting mind is vitakka, exerting effort is viriya, and one should note the object with the support of these two factors, aiming and effort. When one notes the object with aim and effort, sati, mindfulness, develops, and it will stick onto the object. So sati is called here as sati patthana. Patthana means firmly, steadfastly established on the object. In the term patthana, pa means outstanding. So sati is of good quality, not ordinarily good quality, but outstandingly good quality. In order that sati, mindfulness, should be outstandingly good quality, one should exert ardent effort, and one should aim, direct one's noting mind towards the object. In order to develop outstandingly good quality sati, one should know the benefits of satipatthana practice. One should know the benefits of satipatthana before one practices. Knowing the benefits of satipatthana practice, one should have faith and confidence that by practicing satipatthana meditation, one can gain the benefits, 7 benefits such as purification of the mind and so on. Having faith and confidence in satipatthana practice, one should also have strong chanda to practice. And when one is practicing, one should not practice in an easygoing manner, but one should practice respectfully, meticulously, thoroughly, continuously. One should continuously aim one's noting mind towards the object, so that the noting mind will be direct to the object. And one should exert ardent effort so that the noting mind reaches the object. In this way, noting the object with aim and effort, mindfulness will be sustained on the object, and sati mindfulness will be of good quality, outstandingly good quality sati. Sati mindfulness will gain momentum, and also mindfulness should cover the object. Mindfulness should spread onto the whole object that has been noted. So in this way, mindfulness should cover the whole object. Mindfulness should cover the whole object, spread onto the whole object, and thus the mindfulness will be of outstandingly good quality sati. When mindfulness becomes outstandingly good quality, then the mind will not run elsewhere, the mind will not scatter, the mind will fall calm and collected on the object, and samadhi, concentration, develops. Exerting viriya, effort in the practice, effort does not accept kilesa, defilement, from arising. Having viriya present, the kilesa, defilement, will not be accepted into the mind. The defilement will be repelled, and the path of defilement will be blocked. Exerting effort in the practice, laziness cannot arise, and also other defilements cannot enter the mind. So the current of defilement will be stopped. The path of unwholesomeness will be blocked. If viriya is not applied, then laziness will creep in, and tinamita, sloth and torpor, will also enter. Exerting effort in the practice, the path of kilesa defilement will be blocked. Defilements such as laziness has no chance to arise, and other defilements also do not have chance to arise. So there is no chance for these defilements to arise. The path of defilement will be blocked, and the path of wholesomeness will open. Having sati mindfulness, there will be protection. The mind will be protected, guarded away from the defilement, so that the mind will not be agitated by raga, the mind will not be agitated by dosa, and one gains benefit of the practice. When the noting mind falls calm and collected on the object, there will not be distraction, the mind will not scatter, the mind is unified, collected on the object. When one is noting the object with aim and effort, the mind falls calm and collected on the object. In the beginning of the practice, the noting mind falls on the form or shape of the abdomen. At times, the noting mind falls on the manner of moving. But whatever it is, when the noting mind falls on any of these two, either the form or shape of the abdomen or the manner of moving, then the mind will not run elsewhere. There will not be scattering of the mind. As the yogi gains momentum in the practice, the noting mind will no longer fall on the form or shape of the abdomen or the manner of movement, but the noting mind falls on the nature such as stiffness, tension, movement, warmth, heat, when noting rising of the abdomen. Experiencing stiffness, tension, warmth, heat, cold, movement, when noting rising of the abdomen, one is knowing the true nature of materiality. So it is said that by noting the object at the moment of their arising, one comes to know the true nature. One is sure to know the true nature by being mindful at the moment of arising. In this way, the sati, mindfulness, will be of outstandingly good quality sati. In order to develop outstandingly good quality sati, one should understand the benefit of satipatthana practice. One should have faith and confidence in the practice. One should have strong jhana to practice. And when practicing, one should note the object constantly, continuously, with aim and effort. Noting the object with aim and effort continuously, sati, mindfulness, will be outstandingly good quality. And the mind will also be concentrated, unified on the object, and one comes to know the true nature. Bhutam bhutato pasati, by being mindful of the object, by noting with aim and effort, the mind will be concentrated, and thus one comes to know the object in the way it really is, in the way it is assisting. In order to develop outstandingly good quality sati, to know the true nature of the object, one should have the mental strength that are supporting the practice. One has associating mental strength that is supporting the practice, and one should maintain the quality of the practice. By maintaining the quality of the practice, the mindfulness and concentration will become stronger and stronger, and sati, mindfulness, will be outstandingly good quality, outstandingly extraordinary sati, mindfulness. When the noting mind is direct with the object, one comes to know the true nature. It is the duty of the yogi to be noting the presently arising object immediately when the object arises. So there is no other thing to be done for the yogi. One should not be thinking, imagining. As soon as the object arises, one should note it right away. In the example of looking at the lightning, as soon as the lightning strikes, one should look carefully so that one comes to know how the lightning strikes. When one takes a look at the lightning, at the moment the lightning strikes, one sees the color, the brightness of the lightning. Seeing the brightness of the lightning is compared to knowing the nature of the object. So here in the case of lightning, brightness is the characteristic of the lightning. In the same way, in order to know the characteristic of the object, one should note the object as soon as it arises. One should note it with aim and effort, so that one comes to know the characteristic of the object. And in the example of lightning, when lightning strikes, there will be brightness and it dispels darkness. So the lightning dispelling the darkness, it is the function of the lightning. And the lightning strikes, and at times the lightning may be in circle, it may be round, or at times the lightning may be crooked, or the lightning may be in zigzag. So the lightning striking either round or zigzag is compared to the manifestation of lightning. So whether the person sees the brightness, whether the person sees that the lightning dispels darkness, or whether the person sees lightning as either round or zigzag, whatever it is said that the person knows the lightning, sees the lightning. In the same way, when one is noting the presently arising object, one may know the characteristic of the object, one may know the function of the object, or one may know the characteristic of the object. Whatever one comes to know, whether it is the characteristic or the function or the manifestation, it is said that yogi is discerning. As the yogi continues to practice, when the yogi becomes skillful in the practice, one can also know the proximate cause of the object. In the case of lightning, when one looks at the lightning, one may see the brightness, which is the characteristic. One may see the function of the lightning dispelling darkness, or one may see the lightning either round or zigzag, which is the manifestation of lightning. And one also knows that the proximate cause of lightning is the space, the sky. Because there is the space, the lightning arises. But it is not important to know the proximate cause of lightning. But when noting the presently arising object, yogi may come to know the characteristic or the function or the manifestation or the proximate cause of the object. Whatever it is important to be noting the object at the moment of its arising, to note the object with aim and effort, with sustained mindfulness. So it is the duty of the yogi to be noting the presently arising object with aim and effort with sustained mindfulness. And yogi will come to discern mind and matter, cause and effect, and also relevant cause giving result to relevant effect. And Sayadaw will continue to explain tomorrow. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.